Hello. Welcome to the Housing Authority.
Hi.
Good morning.
How are you?
Welcome aboard.
Good morning.
Hello.
Nehoma, how are you?
Hi. Kumusta?
Good morning.
Welcome to the New York City Housing Authority. I'm your new boss. Come to think of it, all of those tenants you've just met, they're the boss. I really mean that. I honestly believe this housing authority, born in the great social reform movements of the 1930s, is one extraordinary caring family. 600,000 people live in public housing in the city of New York. We now manage more than 300 projects in all 5 boroughs. We heat and maintain 180,000 apartments in 3,000 buildings. We have the 19th largest police force in the nation. We are bigger than the city of Pittsburgh and better.
You're looking at 2 of the framers of the public housing program in this nation. A tall woman and a short man, but both giants in our history. Eleanor Roosevelt and Fiorello LaGuardia. It is December 3rd, 1935, and the occasion is the dedication of the nation's first public housing project. It was a bold idea. The very thought that government should care for its poorer citizens was radical stuff in those days. At the ceremony, LaGuardia said, "They told me it would be a cold day when government built housing. Well, it is a cold day." More than a half-century later, First Houses remains one of the most comfortable and attractive housing developments in the city. Beautiful reliefs and sculptures, chiseled in the 30s, are lovingly preserved. The fact that First Houses has prospered is the heart of our story. Public housing in New York City is good and decent housing, built to last, and tended by the best people we can find. When most people think of public housing, they think of the huge high-rise projects like this one on the Lower East Side. And yes, we've got a lot of them. Few people know, however, that even with our biggest mega block projects, the buildings actually sit on less than 20% of the site. There's lots of grass and trees. This is also public housing in New York City. Bungalows for the elderly on Staten Island. We even have single-family homes in the public housing inventory. Homes that our tenants can eventually buy. While we're at it, let's take a look at some of the extras in New York's public housing. New playgrounds and elderly sitting areas serve folks of all ages. A variety of sculptures and murals can be found in many projects. The authority sponsors the world's only public housing symphony orchestra. And literally thousands of gardens are grown each year in a world-famous competition over a quarter-century old. But the truth is, it's not all a bed of roses. As in any large urban community, we have our share of trouble. Sometimes real trouble. Reality, in the form of drugs, intrudes.
This is the real world, and nobody is saying it's easy. I know because I grew up in public housing myself, right here in New York City. There's plenty of trouble out here if you want to go around looking for it. But I have one thing that you might not know, that a lot of people around here care. Community centers like this might be one of the last places where you can find genuine compassion, where teachers and social workers and cops give a damn about the communities they serve. As a housing cop, and we're the only public housing program in America that has a professional police force, I spend a lot of time chasing bad guys, but I also try to make life a little easier for my friends and neighbors in the projects. You're coming to work for that part of the real world that faces its problems and deals with them.
Whatever you're going to do at the Housing Authority, whatever job you're about to start, whether it's as a housing assistant, a clerk in the computer department, a cop, a caretaker, a secretary, an engineer, a lawyer, a receptionist, or even a boss, you need to know about the people and the projects. That's what we do for a living. I'll even quote the law that set us up. We provide decent, safe, and sanitary shelter for persons of low income. So let's go on down and take a look at a project and see how it works.
The bosses, they think they run this place, but they don't. You're looking at the most important guy around here. You lose me, the whole place falls apart. I'm all that stands between you and the candy wrappers. I take care of one of the biggest buildings around here. That's 8 floors of mud in the spring, ice in the winter, and general dirt all year long. But take a look at this place. You could eat off of the floor when I go home. And incidentally, like 25% of the 15,000 employees of the Housing Authority, when I go home, I go next door. I don't just work here, I live here too. And like the man said, when you clean your own house, you give it a little extra. One more thing, I don't plan on being a caretaker my whole life. This place, it's like a little city. There's no limit to what you can be. My name's Harry. I'll see you around.